Hi everybody, this is Sherry again, and this is Adventure in Paradise 3. I missed a couple of days because I've been downtown doing business, lots of business, and trying to get us ready for our second home. I hope you guys took on the assignment that I gave you and looked up this Klaus Schwab person. But today we're going to talk about sustainability. I heard that, and you can research this for yourself. I heard that in New York right now, Bill Gates and all those are meeting to talk about sustainability. And you all remember that in, I believe it was October or November 2021, they had Event 201 where they talked about a pandemic, and then a couple of months later it happened. Well, they're having similar meetings again, like right now. So I don't know what's coming, but I'm not going to wait around and find out. We want to talk about how you are going to get along if something happens, like we already having food shortages. You go to whatever grocery store or department store or the big box stores, and they're empty shelves or shelves that are scarce. I do it all the time. I've been looking for different things, and when I go in these stores, I don't find what I'm looking for half the time. And that wasn't something that happened a year ago, 2 years ago. So I'm getting concerned about being able to get supplies. I know people are stocking up. I see people in Sam's all the time stocking up on goods, and people are preparing. But are you preparing? The people that know what's going on or have an idea that something's going to happen are preparing. But I don't want to see you all, my subscribers, get caught with your pants down. I don't want to see you trying to show up at the grocery store after it happens, whatever it is, because when it happens, it's going to be too late. So get started thinking about what you need to survive for, let's say, 3 months, even 6 months, depending on your family size, depending on where you are. There's a series out there called Endgame, and it was put together by Dr. Patrick Gentempo. I believe I said his name right, but he has at least like 20 videos of different experts showing how to survive. They had even one lady that was showing how to survive in a New York condo, on some high floor. You can do it. But if you guys have any kind of land, you need to be thinking about what you can plant. Think about what's already there that you can forage. Think about sustaining your family if we lose power. You all know what's going on in Europe right now with this thing with Russia and Ukraine, and Russia's kind of like freezing everybody out over there. So think about how you would stay warm if it gets too cold and you don't have the facilities or the power to make sure that you stay warm. Think about water. You all know what happened in Flint, and you all know what's happening right now in Jackson, Mississippi. These people don't care about you. Remember that. Make note of that. So you have to be the one that prepares for yourself and your family. So look into what you would do if today is Wednesday the 21st of September. What would you do if Friday you were at work or you were wherever at noon and there was an announcement that came that all the grocery stores are closing down, or that you lost power and you don't know how long you're going to lose power for? Don't wait around. I talked about this before, but there's a episode of the Twilight Zone, I believe it is, yes, called The Shelter. And it's, Twilight Zone was back in the 60s, maybe even the 50s, as I recall, the original one. And this episode really made the hair on the back of my neck stand up, because it basically told what, a whole bunch of friends would do. They were having a party. And during the party, it was announced that they were being invaded by cosmonauts or something like that. And one of the guys, the host of the party, had a shelter, and they were laughing and joking and talking about him and making basically jokes about the fact that he wasted the time to make a shelter in his basement. And then when that announcement came on the radio, there was no TV back then. Then the announcement said for everybody to go home and get in their basement. And if you don't have a basement, you have to huddle in in like hallways or somewhere that didn't have windows. So the other 3 or 4 families went home with their children, and then they came back and they were begging to get in this man's shelter. And he was like, I told you guys to prepare. I told you guys to prepare. He had told his wife and his son to start filling up water bottles so they can add more water bottles to his shelter. And then I'm not going to spoil what happened at the end, but it was very chilling what happened at the end of this episode. And I never forgot it, even though I watched it years and years ago. Because a lot of times the things on television, especially guys, sci-fi, is telling you what's coming. I'm gonna make a quick announcement here. I am at the Coweta Inn. This is not where I'm normally staying, but this is the place that I love to stay. This is the nicest place in Coweta. 5-bedroom hotel. I've talked about it before in other videos, but I'm out here on the rocks because I'm staying here tonight. I'm not gonna get into why, but I love this place and I wanted to show you the scenery. At some point or another, I'll get my tripod out and I'll get in front of the camera, but right now that's not what I want to do. So this is beautiful Coweta. Anyway, getting back to what I was talking about, sustainability. Please take this seriously. One of the things you want to do also is make sure that whatever you do collect, you can protect. I don't know if you guys heard of Catherine Austin Fitts, but look her up. She has a great website and a great newsletter. And she was somebody that was Undersecretary of Housing and Urban Development. So she has a lot of insight on how we got to where we are as a society. But Catherine and I and some other people were speakers in a meeting offshore. And we were talking about this sustainability. This was years and years ago. And one of the guys was proud, one of the attendees, he was proud, and he stood up and said that he had a ranch or some land way out 60 miles outside of town, and he had this and he had that, and he felt like he was safe. And Catherine Austin Fitts stood up and looked him dead in the eye, and she said, as long as your neighbor is hungry, you're not safe. And that was chilling, because it doesn't matter whether, and it goes into another thing that I saw. There's a series that used to be on Netflix called Revolution. And that series was about when the grid went out. So it kind of started out 15 years after the grid went out, and it never came back on. But how people were living, how people were surviving. And I'm pretty sure that there's some other kind of dystopian type series is out there. I don't watch much of that, and that was a long time ago, but they're telling you what's going on, guys. They're telling you to be prepared. Those that are prepared correctly are going to survive, and the other ones, hey, you just better watch out. So look into what you need to sustain your family, and I'll be getting into detail about specific things that you need. Later on this week, when I do some more of these episodes, I'll talk about specific things that I think are important for you. But right now, it depends on where you are. You could be up north, you could be in the south, out west. I don't know where you are, but even if you're not in the United States, there are certain things that you're going to need to survive that are probably a little bit different all over the country and all over the world. So start working on that. And also, your assignment for this time is to go and look up these meetings that are going on in New York with Bill Gates and the World Economic Forum, and find out what these people are talking about. We have people that will report what's really going on. I want you all to go and find wearechange.org. Wearechange.org is a website that has, I think it's Monday through Friday or Sunday through Friday. They have like a 15 to 20 minute news flash about what's going on. They're the ones that alerted me of these meetings and a whole bunch of other stuff that's going on with our government. Look at that, y'all. Look at that gigantic iguana. Can you see him? Wow. I think it's a lizard, iguana, whatever it is. This is out in the nature. I love it. At any rate, I'm going to go back into the hotel shortly, but I wanted to get with you guys because I missed a couple of days doing business downtown Limon, and I needed to do that. So I will check with you later. Everybody have a wonderful Wednesday. Bye.